Lately, we've received a lot of support with the elemental injury mechanic, which, when used correctly, allows us to deal a significant amount of damage to enemies and inflict very useful status effects like burn or paralysis. In this video, we'll see how Cairn makes use of this mechanic, which greatly benefits other units like Gracebearer. For more information, check out the guide focused on her. Now, back to the star of this video. Cairn is a defender of the Primal Protector subclass, who excels at inflicting elemental injury on enemies. As a defender, she has the ability to block up to 3 enemies at once, which is very effective for affecting multiple enemies simultaneously while they're in this state. Now let's move on to her talent. Explanation Saturation. This talent causes a percentage of her damage to be applied as nervous impairment to enemies she is currently blocking. To quickly explain this type of damage, when enemies take this damage, a small circle will appear above them. When that circle empties, it will explode, triggering the elemental injury effect. In this case, nervous impairment will cause the enemy to enter a state of paralysis, which will cancel their next attacks. You'll know this effect is active if you see a lightning bolt symbol above them. This is very useful against bosses, so you'll likely want to learn how to use it. If you combine multiple units that apply this specific status, the effect will trigger faster, so it's a good idea to build a strategy around units that share the same elemental injury type. We'll make the most of all this with her abilities. Her first ability, Covered Consolidation. It's one of the simplest abilities in this class. It simply increases her health when activated, providing a 100% boost at level 7. These types of abilities are useful in critical moments, such as when facing elite enemies or during boss fights, to boost her survivability. Now let's move on to his second ability, Stunning Directives. When activated, Cairn gains a barrier equal to her maximum health and begins dealing spell damage along with damage that triggers the nervous impairment effect. This ability lasts 10 seconds. The best part of this skill is that Cairn's damage becomes area of effect, meaning all enemies she blocks will be affected by this effect, allowing her to wipe out several waves of enemies without much trouble, or at the very least, they'll be close to triggering the paralysis effect. This skill is very cheap and easy to combine with other units, making it practically the best skill for this unit. What you need to watch out for is his barrier, since it cannot be healed by medics. So if you see an enemy destroying it without much trouble, it probably won't take many attacks to finish her off. However, Cairn has one more surprise up her sleeve, and that is her module, PRPX, Parachute. As of the time of this video, this module is not yet available, so the information may vary when it is released in the global version. This module greatly improves the ability to apply the nervous impairment effect, since starting at level 2, Cairn will deal damage over time that applies this effect to blocked enemies, so she will no longer need to hit enemies to apply it, which greatly benefits even her first skill. As for her base talents, she provides effects that speed up morale regeneration in the dormitories, and one that does the same for clue generation in the reception room. In conclusion, I believe Cairn is a very good unit if you're looking for a strategy that leverages the nervous impairment effect, especially since we currently have a large number of units that can exploit this effect very effectively. The low cost of her abilities and her area of effect damage are undoubtedly a huge advantage, especially since, despite being a defender, she ends up dealing a lot of damage to weak enemies without needing a DPS unit to support her. So I highly recommend paying close attention to this unit. She might just surprise you. Well, that's all for this guide. I hope it has helped you better understand how this unit works. Without further ado, I'll sign off. Take care, and see you next time.